Now I'd like to just do another little warm to cool exercise with the pear here, just so that we can get the color temperature changing as it goes from the light to the medium and then the dark side, and so you can see how the colors change, warm to cool. So we've got a yellow green. So this is about what we'll do, but probably use some more oranges and browns in it. I'm gonna do it very simple and small and not too carefully. Actually, I got pretty far off of the not accurate at all, but that's okay. It's just an exercise. Just an exercise for color. Yeah, and so here's the highlight right in here. Not gonna worry about erasing lines because it's just a quick exercise. Do a shadow back there. I think I'll probably leave those highlights out, not put these highlights in the back. So the medium side is like a yellow green, you know? Here's the azo yellow with some sap green, and that's on the medium side. I might add a touch of gamboge into that to warm it up a little warmer. So that's azo yellow and sap green with some gamboge in it. As it goes cooler, we can just use more sap green in the mix. So there's a little azo yellow in it, but I just grabbed mostly sap green. Maybe grab a bit of orange to turn that more earthy tone. The transparent pyrrole orange, and yeah, so that's a good transition of warm to cool, but it needs the light side now, so we can go to the light side. And I think we'll just need to use more yellow, you know, because that's what the light side just usually becomes more yellow. So just more gamboge and maybe a little bit of azo yellow. You know, some greens are pure like tropical green and it would just go just to azo yellow. But then some greens are like a brown warmish green, which goes more to gamboge because it's a warm reddish yellow, you know? So this is sort of like in between, I think. Yeah, so gamboge there. So here's the sun coming from this way. Sunlight. So it's a yellow dwarf sun. And so the light side will be kind of have that cast of that yellow like filtered over them, you know? The medium side is the true color, the color that's least affected by the environment, not affected by like reflections and color of the light and ambient light. So that's the true color, medium side. Yeah, let's just start out with wetting the whole thing, the whole pear, I mean. I think I might just leave that highlight dry, and that's the only thing that I'll leave dry. even that highlight on the top, I'll go ahead and wet that because it's definitely not white paper. It just needs to be darker than that. Even this one probably isn't truly white, you know. It looks bright though when there's a lot of darker values surrounding a highlight. It makes it look lighter than it really is. So I'll just wet that shadow. So you can see the wetness. It's a good workable wetness. Like a 8-minute wetness maybe. I think I'll even go ahead and wet the stem. I just want to do this all in one layer, you know, which I don't normally do, but just to do it as a color exercise, not to really make a finished painting the frame. Usually I might do a few or several layers. So there's a little gamboge, and just to get that warmth in, because it is a reddish, a warm green. And then here's the as a yellow with a bit of sap green. Just get this in as a base coat, and then we can start to go darker with different colors and go warm to cool. Mostly sap green there. So here I'm starting to go cooler. It's more sap green. Putting it in the dark first, and we can pull outward, and it'll start to lighten and mix with the lighter color as a gradual wash, you know. I think what I'll do is come in and just drop in a little gamboge into this and sort of juxtapose color so that it's a little bit of broken color and not too flat. It's a little gamboge with some orange in it. Whoops, I had too much water in the brush there. It just spread out real fast. Good thing my paper's wet, so it wouldn't backwash too much. It kinda did, but when the paper's just wet, it's not as damaging. Okay, trying to kind of put it down in spots, and that way it's more broken up, and to create that variation of the more realistic, subtle variation in the tones of the color. And we can come back with some sap green with mixed with azo yellow and just drop it in right in between some of these. Just try to match the values of each. The orange and the green need to match values pretty close. I think I need to get a little more yellow in, you know, azo. Increase that intensity of the azo yellow. as it goes, just to make sure we get that warm to cool. If it's not becoming yellow enough, as it becomes lighter, it won't show that warm to cool enough color change. It won't show that warm to cool color change enough. Okay, now let's go ahead and go darker. We can grab some sap and maybe a little hooker's green and just go right back into that darkest place and just come in with a little red mixed with some burnt sienna, scarlet with burnt sienna, juxtaposed right into that green. And then we can come in and try not to overblend it. I almost started to overblend by pressing my brush too hard. If you just can skim the brush over the paper, it can get a nice blend, not too much, you know. Little burnt sienna at the base there, and I think I'll put some orange down in this shadow, the base color for the shadow. I like that brown, you know, the orange with this green, yellow, green. Something about those colors I like together. And but it's nice because it picks up the orange brown spots in the pear, you know, really complements it and harmonizes nice. So might just drop in a little bit of violet, cobalt blue violet into the stem. It's a nice complementary color to the green in the pear. It'll really beautiful complement. Not too clean, it's a little too clean. I think what I need is to go in with the burnt sienna, real kind of dry on a smaller brush, and just mingle it in with that violet. And at this point, we could probably take some burnt sienna pretty dry on the brush and just come in and do some of these blemishes. Start closer to us, sharper and further away. Because it's right at the satin stage, you know, and that's when we can put in these really soft details, but they're still distinct, you know, and making sure that our brush mixture is very dry so that when we put the paint down, it won't spread too easy and soften too much. So as it goes in the shadow, you know, just go a little bluer with the more gray with this mixture of the burnt sienna and the ultramarine, the two complements. Yeah, it should go grayer in shadow, you know, and it will make it recede more. And maybe get a little more cleaner burnt sienna as it comes close to the highlight. A little orange even, more orange. Or gray, burnt sienna, grayed down here. Yeah, I don't need to get it too realistic, but I mean, try to do too much. Yeah, let's do the shadow a little darker. I think I'll stick some violet and gray it down with some of the complementary gray with the violet. Just stick it right in. Very dry so it won't spread across the pear, you know? And it is a dry wash. You can see how it's not spreading out very much, and if we're not careful, we'll lose the clean freshness of it if we work with it too dry. Trying to just feather the brush over it though so it won't make too streaky brush marks. So it's just pretty dry satin looking. We could just run a damp brush along the edge here. Since it's as dry as it is, it's not all the way dry, but just barely wet. I think I'll leave this edge in the front, most of it sharper. I better leave it alone. It's really dry, too little dry to be working with. I'll soften, just take a dry brush and soften this edge of the highlight. So that just at least shows the warm to cool, how it changes as it goes light to darken. Just might be a good exercise. One thing I like to do is break it into stripes. It kind of helps to break it down. Like here's maybe that's the medium side. So as it goes lighter, more yellow, then even more yellow as it goes lighter. And then the dark side, more sap green with a bit of orange. Then even more sap green as it goes even darker. Maybe some hooker's green. So just kind of breaking it down in stripes like that. And here's some red to gray that down. Kind of helps in a way. Here's the medium, dark and light. Hope that helps as an exercise to understand the color theory better.